Remember the Mullins house
I can bring it to her.
Thank you. I needed that.
You're only one of them.
Okay. Yeah, so straight to it.
Right, Coach. Yeah. Right.
Actually, six. Six total. Oh, yes, you made it on. Hey, Tom.
That's what it is.
Southside kitchen. Right. Southside kitchen. Big Daddy.
Everybody. Ooh, man. You're dealing with the flu, brother. I don't want to get you all sick, and I still don't want to get sick.
I was gonna send out a search warrant for you, my friend.
They're coming in?
What's up?
Happy New Year to y'all.
Boy, I forget. Road crews, people on that local Crowley sign, that's all going on. This week or next week, they stored pressure washing, trying to get it ready for the house.
Good to see you, man. How you feeling? What's up, man? Oh, fine. You, man. All right? Yes,
Okay, we'll call for meeting to order. Invocation, Alderman Act.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this time that we can come together as a city. Lord, we just ask that you would lift us up, Lord, that we would see your agenda in clear focus, Lord, and that we would follow it. We ask all these things in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge of allegiance, I'll ask the Deltas to lead us in the pledge this evening.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, ladies. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Chuck Ashby.
Here.
Katie Shazza.
Here.
Brad Cole.
Here.
Jeff Dorey.
Here.
Dickie Latchley.
Here.
Vernon Moore.
Here.
Sandy Morris.
Here.
Sammy Ridley.
Here.
Byron Woolridge.
Here.
Thank you, sir. We will recess the council meeting and open up the public hearing.
So it's a public hearing for the purpose of discussing the introduction of an ordinance to amend and reenact Chapter 2, Administration, Section 2-3, same time, place of meetings of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Crowley to change the time of the regularly scheduled monthly city council meetings to the third Tuesday of each month at 6 p.m. and committee meetings to the second Tuesday of each month at 4 p.m. To repeal all ordinances or parts of ordinances contradictory thereto or in conflict therewith, and provide for the provisions therefore to be severable, and to provide for all matters relating thereto. So we need to open the public hearing. Anybody who wishes to appear in favor of the ordinance? First call, anybody wishing to speak in favor? Second call, anybody wishing to speak in favor of that ordinance? Third call, anybody wishing to speak in favor of the ordinance? Anybody wish to speak in opposition to the adoption of that ordinance? Please state your name.
Chris Hughes. The previous council decided to move the meetings to Wednesday in order for people to attend the police jury meetings that were happening at the same time, which is great because y'all know I'm the most consistent person to watch y'all's meetings, and I'm also consistent with the police jury meetings. I mean, second and third, it would work, because like as it is now, your committee meetings would be at 4, police jury meetings would be at 6. I can make both meetings then, and then the third week, naturally there won't be a police jury, and I couldn't attend your meeting. There was some discussion the last time it was brought up about changing the times. Changing the times would definitely conflict with the ability to attend both meetings. So I may be not in favor of it, but if the time is stayed the same, I'd be okay with that. So that's just going to be my input on that. Thank you.
Anybody else desire to speak in opposition to the ordinance? Second call, anybody wishing to speak in opposition? Third call? There's no further opposition? Just need to vote.
Okay, we'll close the public hearing. Mr. Martin.
Okay, now we're going from the first and second Wednesdays to the
Currently, we're the first and second Wednesday. Actually, the way it's written is the second Wednesday is council meeting, and the Wednesday prior to that second Wednesday is committee meetings. However, we're looking to move it to the second Tuesday and third Tuesday of the month. Yes. Moving it back 1 week into the month and moving it to Tuesdays.
okay, well, what about the timeline? It was just spoken about.
Yes, and I think this is for discussion when the council is actually discussing and trying to understand what they want to know about it.
But I'm still asking the question. I mean, I thought you were just gonna go with 6 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock for our committee. What would happen to that?
Again, that's the current ordinance that was presented last month to be presented to the people for them to know about the public hearing today is written as is. Since then, there was discussion amongst council and here at the committee meetings last week about possibly moving the times around so that it would allow our citizens who work for a living to be able to make committee meetings easier. Instead of it starting at 4, maybe start them at 5, because a lot of working citizens work till 5 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock, and so there was discussion for that to maybe change the time also. And if we change the times, maybe change the times on council meeting to put them both at the same time, 5 o'clock in the evening. I suggested that we wouldn't move the committee meetings back too far in time, because of time. Committee meetings is where a lot of our citizens are able to come in and voice their opinions and ask questions and talk about different things that's on the agenda. And so committee meetings often take longer to go through than council meetings. So I don't know. I was not here whenever they began the council meetings at 4 p.m. But I would suspect that's why they began council meetings at 4, is to be able to get finished with them earlier in the evening because they take longer. But I don't know that.
Well, I mean, the problem that we have, because I hear from a lot of constituents, that 4 o'clock meeting is too early for them to get over here.
Exactly. And that's why there was discussion about possibly changing the time.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna change it both to 6. I mean, it's an ironclad, time. I think it'll work out for everybody. I mean, if we go a little longer, so be it, but at the end of the day, that was one of the reasons why a lot of people that had, discussions, that want to discuss what was going on the agenda, would make it to the meeting.
That's why it was discussed to maybe change the time also.
But if we're gonna do one now, why not do both?
Well, but
That's the discussion.
that would be in the council meeting. Right now, we're in the public hearing, and that would be done in the council meeting. So someone will have to make the motion in the council meeting to, approve the ordinance, but amend it to whatever time, 8 o'clock at night, I don't care, but you know what I'm saying? But that's gonna be in council, you'll have to make a motion in the council meeting. We're in the public hearing right now.
Okay, if you're gonna start, fish all the way, buddy. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We'll close the public hearing and reopen council meeting. I've got some speaker cards, and in the spirit of letting people speak, it's important to know that you should call City Hall and ask to be on the agenda if you want to speak at the council meetings, so that we can have you on the agenda to be able to do so. But I will put 2 of you who turned in speaker cards in reference to nothing that's on the agenda to speak in appearances, so that you can go ahead and speak to the council and advise them of what you're here for. I'll ask that you keep it brief, and in the spirit of advising the council what you're trying to. So first up is Reverend D.A. Francis Sr.
Good evening to you all. You all heard my name. I'm Reverend D.A. Francis Sr., the assistant pastor at the Israelite Baptist Church, where I also serve as Director of Christian Education. I'm also the founder and the co-host of the newly launched Crowley Communal podcast, and I'm here to inform as well as offer an open invitation to you, our elected officials, not limited to. We hear from you guys a lot during election season, and that's about it. And so I'm offering you an opportunity to come on our platform and be able to speak both your hearts and your minds as it relates to the citizens of Crowley, to your constituents. The podcast is pretty much, objective is to implement educational awareness, ethical accountability, and enlightening affirmation, one conversation at a time, as it relates to the citizens of the Crowley communal. You can catch it on Facebook as well as YouTube at the Crowley Communal Podcast. It airs on Wednesday evenings, every Wednesday evening. You can catch it. If you need to contact us, you can contact us via email. That email is thecrowleycommunal@gmail.com. Thank you for your time.
Reverend, what time on Wednesday evening?
7 o'clock on Facebook and then 9 on YouTube.
Well, can you have your cell number?
Cell number is 337-930-3964.
3964.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Nicole Shasher. And I will remind you that there won't be able to take any action on anything today. We'll have to, the committee meetings are really where this stuff needs to go, but I'll be happy to give you a few moments. Push the green button, thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, Chief Abear, and my fellow friends and neighbors of Hockaday Heights. For the record, my name is Nicole Sasher. We are here this evening to bring attention to the council that our community has become increasingly concerned about the drug traffic and ludicrous behavior of Crystal Browning, who is a tenant of Wayne Bailey at 1018 Hockaday. We have voiced our concerns with Mr. Bailey, and we feel that not enough is being done to fix the problem, which is why we stand before the council today. I'm sure Chief Abear would agree that even his officers are weary of the inundated amount of phone calls and confrontations that we have all visibly witnessed involving Ms. Browning. Our elderly neighbors have voiced their fear of being approached by Ms. Browning and no longer walk their neighborhood. Ms. Browning has no boundaries nor limits in the explicit vulgar language she uses, no limit in the exposing of her body in front of our children or anyone else for that matter, and no restraints in stopping anyone that passes by on a bike, by car, on a skateboard, or horse and buggy, and asking for drugs, sex, or money. Keep in mind that all of these occurrences are happening in what should be a drug-free school zone. She trespasses on private property and has attacked me physically, as evidenced by this police report that I hold in my hand, and I do have it here. We realize we are not working with a full deck here, but our community fears the fact that she could possibly injure any one of us, our children, or the many students who attend nearby schools, one in particular within a block from where she resides. We have visibly seen her wielding knives and using anything in her hands as a weapon when she is loopy. Perhaps one of my greatest fears is that we would witness a hoo-ha show in her front yard, or even tragically witness the killing of innocent young people at the hand of this mentally ill individual. In closing, my neighbors each have their own stories and concerns to share, but at the end of the day, as a community, we are here to ask the council for advice and direction on how to have Ms. Browning properly petitioned and evicted, and also how we can provide our community with safer protocols to keep the drug traffic out of our neighborhood, thus achieving a true drug-free and safer community for all our neighbors. We certainly don't want to become the next national news story. So again, thank you, Mr. Mayor, thank you, council members, Chief Abear, for your time.
Yeah.
Mr. Martin.
Ma'am, before you leave, please. Now, what is the individual name? What is her name?
Her name is Crystal Browning.
And what, you said is in an apartment complex?
She lives at 1018 Hockaday Heights. 1018 Hockaday, in Hockaday Heights. It's by Notre Dame.
Notre Dame?
Yes, sir.
Heading towards,
Past the old football field for Notre Dame.
Okay.
On the right, they're all set house in the back.
all right.
Too bad off.
So you have filed complaints on it, correct?
Yes, we have. I even have some of the neighbors sending me video footage of her approaching them at different times, questioning them about different things that just makes no sense. And as a community, we're just wanting to get something done about it.
Well, I appreciate the fact that you're here,
Thank you.
and I'm pretty sure, Chief, if it's possible, I know y'all got a lot going on, but is there any way that this lady can get any type of mental help that you know about?
We have tried,
Chief, please don't discuss, Chief, we don't discuss anybody. Mental health is okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just asked if he could get someone, not personal, information. Right. I appreciate that, John. Thank you.
There's definitely things going on that we are, trying to get under control. Everything she says is true.
She have any family?
It is a problem.
Well, this actually, well, it's a yes or no if you have family. I mean, it's just a yes or no.
I don't know, I'm trying to arrange
Yes.
it with the landlord.
Okay, thank you.
I'm trying to arrange a meeting with the landlord, see if there's possibly somewhere else, maybe that's more secluded, that would benefit her and benefit the neighborhood. I haven't had that discussion yet. I reached out to line up a meeting.
Ms. Nicole, it sounds like Chief Abear is working on it. I'll tell you that I will get with him and the property owner also and see if we can maybe help with that process of award. This is the second time I hear about it because the first time was you and I in Super One. But we will definitely try and do what we can to help. I know it doesn't help you sleep tonight, but we won't turn our heads to it. I'll try and work with Chief Abear.
We appreciate it. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Ashton, I would just add, the proper way to handle it is to get the neighbors to address it via criminal complaints or civil complaints. Because, there's nothing that the city can do outside of enforcing the rules that are on the books. So,
And they have been.
yeah,
Yes.
and that's all you can really do in this juncture, and, I'm sure the city will address it properly.
Well, our biggest concern, if I could, just say this, and I've spoken with, several of our neighbors. We actually pulled up some of the history on that particular home and, found out that years ago, the person who lived there, ventured down the road, not too far or whatever, and, personally raped an elderly lady. This lady that I'm speaking of, she, just 2 weeks ago, Chief Abear can attest to that, she was chasing the kids in our neighborhood with just a jacket on and nothing underneath that jacket. We've reached out to the police, just countless times, trying to figure out what we needed to do. And we thought that coming to the committee meeting was where we needed to start.
And everybody appreciates your concern, it's just that it's in the appropriate forum to discuss legal issues.
Right.
But if citizens make complaints, I'm sure those complaints will be handled using the proper protocols and procedures of the police force.
Okay. Do we have to go through an attorney to get a petition, like some type of petition signed, or the neighbors are willing to come forward? I have video, I have whatever documentation we need to prove this case and possibly get something done.
And again, Ms. Asher, the council really can't give you legal advice, other than to suggest that you seek out the advice of an attorney,
Okay.
who can advise you.
And I know one.
Well,
I know.
one more statement here. On the books for the city of Crowley, we have a law, it's called the nuisance law. Okay? A lot of people think the nuisance law is just for loitering and what have you, but that falls under the curtailment of that. Okay? Apparently, this is a nuisance situation. I'm not trying to provoke more or less what's going on, whether it is or not. Chief, I think that would fall under your purview right there. But
Yeah.
from what I'm understanding, this is a nuisance. I
And
mean, if it keeps going over and over, it's a nuisance.
Right, and she can be written and that, but that's something that we don't need to get into right
Well,
now.
that's why I said
Yes.
that he's our judicial, partner here.
I'm gonna work with Chief and we'll try and help these people out.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, agenda amendments. We need to amend the agenda to add 3 more liquor licenses in public safety. You have those in your packet. There are 2 for Big Daddy, 2020 Incorporated, DBA as Winter Circle, and then DBA as Cajun Market, and then 1 for Sharon's Grill. So,
I so moved.
offered by Alderman Core, second by Alderman Marks. Roll call, please.
Chuck Ashby,
Yes, here.
Yes.
Katie Chasson, Brad Cool,
Yes.
Jeff Dorey,
Yes.
Dickie Latchley,
Yes.
Vernon Martin,
Yes.
Sandy Martin,
Yes.
Sammy Reddy,
Yes.
Byron Woolridge.
Yes.
And that is unanimous. Thank you. Now we'll move on to the approval of regular council meeting held on December 13th, council
Offered,
approval of minutes for regular council meeting.
offered.
Offered by Alderman Martin, second by Alderman Dorey. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. The mayor's report. If you look at your sales tax chart, it is not updated since the November, December numbers, and that is because we still have not received sales tax checks for those months. That is normal, that happens every year like this, probably because of holidays and things of that sort. So it's nothing different than has happened in the past many years now. So that's why that's not updated. Sewer user fees, just as it was explained last week by Mr. Mader, it's showing a 24% decrease over last year, but that again is up and down month to month. So one other thing that you want me to wait till Revenue and Finance take here? You want me to I can read the email now. A report from our CPA, Ms. Christie, financial update. She says, as per our conversation, her and I obviously speak often about it, but as per our conversation, here is the status of the financials of the city. Number 1, the audit firm is currently on site performing preliminary planning procedures and working through the statewide agreed upon procedures engagement for the fiscal year ending August 31st of 23. The bank reconciliations are completed through August 31st, 23 for all funds except for general fund and youth recreation funds. These are being worked on currently, and the expected completion date for all will be the week of January 22nd. The general fund also encompasses the clearing account, the payroll account, and all the police accounts. So this is a large project to get them all current. Most are current through June 30th of 23, as of today. Preliminary trial balances will be provided to the audit firm the week of January 22nd as well. We are working on the data needed for the conference call with Standard & Poor's, tentatively scheduled for February 1st of 24. There will be preliminary meetings held internally to compile the data and work with bond attorneys to ensure the data provided is accurate. The audit firm will return the week of January 29th for 2 weeks to perform on-site field work. The audit firm will be sending a request list to Glenn, Lisa, and Julie for items they will need prior to being on site. The timelines of getting this data is imperative to completion of the audit by the due date, which is February 28th, 24. Finally, software conversion. I've been working with the KLR representative to get the chart of accounts into a format that will facilitate the generation of accurate financial reporting, and the task is taking some time. We all know the upfront work is imperative to getting the outputs the city needs to make sound financial decisions. The training on the software needs to be kicked off in February to stay on track. I can update more next month on how the process is going. And of course, she says, feel free to share this email of the status of the finances with the council members for the meeting tonight. I'll go ahead, I'll forward that up to all of you to have in your emails, but I wanted to read it publicly so that the people could hear it also, because people are wondering what's going on also. Her and I were talking today, and she said she's actually giggling as she's texting me because she's excited that they're making progress right now, and things are actually making some good progress. So it's a daunting task, and it's unbelievable, the details and the work that's going into getting these numbers right. So I told her that my only concern was to have proper numbers, and so that we knew where every penny is, not almost. We don't want to know that we almost have enough money, or we almost spent this much, or we almost collected this much. I want to know, we need to know down to the penny. So they've been working very diligently to get that done. They are in their office all week this week. They won't be next week, but the following week they'll be back at the office again. The mention of the S&P, Standard & Poor's, that's something that both Tom and Tim have some experience with, and they both called me and said, this is serious, right? We need to take this seriously. It's actually our credit rating in general terms. And so we're having a meeting with those who have the information and know have some experience with it beforehand, before we get on the phone with them, to make sure that I understand what's going on, because it'll be me who they'll be asking some questions of. So I want to make sure I got the answers right. I don't want to stumble through. But it's a very important thing that we're dealing with now also. So yes, we are going through an audit again. The annual audit is up again. I actually signed the paperwork to hire the auditors again whenever I signed the paperwork to accept the last audit, because the last audit was so late. We're on track, and Christy is determined that this audit will be on time, which is February 28th. So we've got that going, we've got the S&P going, and then we've got new software and still updating financials. So all of those things are happening at the same time. So, yes, sir.
Okay, well, you really caught my attention when you mentioned the S&P. So you telling me that the city of Crowley, not yet, but we will be experiencing and looking towards bringing us on the downside on our credit rating?
No. they are gonna review us.
Well,
Yeah.
normally when they review, it's like them, that's serious.
No, it's a review that, you know, I don't know a whole lot about it at this point, but it's my understanding that we don't have a credit rating on Equifax and TransUnion and all those other ones. So they gonna call and say, hey, I need this information on your company, your city. How much is your sales taxes? How volatile are your sales taxes, revenues? How much money you spend, how much money you owe? They're gonna go through all of that information and give us a rating, but they don't know that information because it's not out like, it's like you and I's, you can't just pull up an app for it.
Well,
So they're gonna call us to review it. That doesn't mean it's going up or down.
well, that's the question I'm having. Did you consult the LMA about this? You know
No,
what?
sir. No, sir.
To address your concern, Mr. Martin, and maybe this isn't your primary concern, but the review wasn't prompted by any negative information or any negative, review of our rating.
You should have started with that. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to be funny here, but I tell my daughters all the time, don't start in the middle of a sentence,
Right.
because you throw me off.
But it's just a review, but the review wasn't prompted, they're not doing the review because they discovered something.
Oh, okay. All right. And, just one other, I see we have, our fellow councilwoman, in here, Kim. Question was, will we be hiring an in-house CPA? That was the question. And as always, from the last administration, from the first day to the last day. Now, what's her name, Christie? She's considered what, part-time?
She is, however much we need her.
She's an independent
She's contracted through the city to do the financials to help.
So, but she's doing other work as well?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, well, is there any way, because, I mean, we've been going through this, and I know for the last 3 terms, well, 2 terms for sure, we've been having problems with the audit, we've been having problems with not getting information. And I was one of the ones that stood on the top of the First National Bank, well, not generally, but you know what I'm saying, hollering to the fact that we have to have someone in-house. That's 100% behind the city of Crowley, because, I mean, I understand the fact that we're a small town, and I don't know what her business is, but pretty sure she's handling other businesses as well. But, I mean, only getting to us when she can, and I have the utmost respect for her, and, you know, I know she's doing the best that she can. But we need to get someone in here that's on a full-term basis.
Mr. Martin, without going into too much detail, the work that she is doing currently, if it would have been kept up over the past couple of years,
I know you hit it on the head. You hit it on the head.
that is the work
Right.
of the city clerk. Okay? And then the city clerk gets with the CPA that we hire
Protocol.
on a monthly basis, depending on how strong the city clerk is, it may be every other month or so. And she basically reviews some of the things that the clerk is doing. To have a city clerk and a CPA have an office in City Hall every day, 5 days a week, it's not feasible. It's not, that is the job, what she's doing is the job of the clerk. And the records were so far behind, and the reconciliation of accounts were so far behind that it is taking a year and a half now almost before we can get them straightened out. And it's too much to have the city clerk do it, no matter who the city clerk is, and continue to do the daily duties of the city clerk, which is why the CPA is here as often as she can, because you're right, she does work for a firm who has other clients. And they also do audits on other cities, which is why this CPA is so important to have, because she knows the ins and outs of government financing, which is why I chose her. When I was offered her name, I called her, and she actually does audits for other cities. And so she knows every aspect of what we need done. So once this is caught up and straightened out, we don't need her every week, or hopefully not even every month. And she'll tell you that. Her goal is to work herself out of a job here. She doesn't want to work here every day. She doesn't want to be needed here on a monthly basis, because the city should be able to do its own work. We have a city clerk position for that, and the city clerk should be able to do that. We should be able to, our administration should be able to reconcile bank statements, but they were not being done for over a year. Our administration should be able to keep those records straight and give the financial reports that are needed. But those things were not being done for many, many months, over a year. And so the sixth city clerk that came into play in the last administration was thrown into an office and said, "That's where your desk is at." And he never found the bottom of the pile.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but those are.
So I don't agree with you that we don't have to hire a CPA.
Well, I mean, there was
In-house.
talking, I don't know, how many of us from the last administration, when the question was asked, do we want to hire in-house CPA, the hands went up on a daily basis. I mean, I'm asking, those who were here on the last administration.
Yeah.
Okay. We, for the reasons that you just mentioned, nothing was being done. Okay? And to say that the clerk.
I'm fixing it, but.
Well, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but you just used the term that the CP and the clerk is the same. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. The clerk handles the business of the city as far as legals and what have you. But a CPA, you know, I would rather have one in-house and pay whatever, what's what. So this way, if you don't need that person, if we only need it for a week, well, guess what? Pay her for the month and let her work a week, or him a week. Because look, I mean, there were times.
We can't give money away like that.
Well, it's not giving money away.
Yeah, I can't pay somebody for a month and let them work a week. That's giving the city money away.
It's been a year and we still ain't nowhere.
No, we somewhere. We are a whole lot further. If you want to learn what's going on with the finances, you truly want to dive deep into it, and you want to hear what the CPA has to say, and from a CPA's mouth, I promise you, she's going to tell you, you do not need to hire a CPA full-time at the city. You do, that is not needed. But if you want to know, call, schedule a meeting. Today is Wednesday. She'll be here tomorrow also, and then she'll be back the week of the 22nd. You're welcome to come to City Hall. Sit down with her as long as you need to. The auditors will be there too. You can talk with them. I guarantee you they'll tell you the same thing. There's no need to hire a CPA to sit in an office at City Hall and certainly not pay them for a month's worth of work and they work for a week. That is not how things operate. That's not how I'm going to operate.
But that was the wishes of the council.
That was the wishes of the previous council.
Well, I mean.
Okay, and that didn't happen, and I can't help that. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to get it straight going forward. And I'm trying to make sure that the numbers are right so that you will get some reports every month, as often as you want, multiple times a month if you want. But we have to get to that point. Not only do we have to straighten the paperwork up, the paperwork, reconciliation and stuff, but we also have to change softwares. Okay, I assure you, if there's another employee that's needed, I'm gonna come ask for it. But to hire a CPA, Christy has, the CPA herself has told me, my goal is to work myself out of a job in this city. Because you don't want a CPA and a city clerk working every day. They doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing.
Yeah, okay, well, I'm just saying that CPA says
I-
that she wanna work herself out of a job, I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of other CPAs that would love to come in and take the place. I bet you that. But I'm just, look, I tried like crazy during the last administration to get on the finance committee. Matter of fact, Kim said she wanted to trade places with me on the council for me to switch up with you on committees to get on the finance committee. Well, just think about it. I asked if anybody wants to do a committee change.
All right, we can't go over to the previous council.
Well, I'm just saying, but I mean, it's.
Thank you, sir.
just go on.
All right, standing committee reports, Public Works, Alderman Dorey.
Thank you, Mayor. Public Works Committee convened Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024, 4 p.m. in the council chambers, and a quorum was present. The motion was made by Alderman Vernon Martin, seconded by Alderwoman Sandy Martin to approve partial payment estimate number 20 to Glen Leger Construction LLC for the streetwide improvements contract A project in an estimated amount of $171,712.08. The motion carried, not so moved.
Offered by Alderman Dorey, second by Alderman Martin. Discussion? All in favor? Uh-oh.
Tim, I think we already got this. We already got a copy of it.
This is a change.
This is an
adjustment.
Okay.
I'll continue. A motion was.
Hold on. It's, so this is for number one, right?
This is for contract A. If I may, on Wednesday last week, I gave you some preliminary numbers. I explained that the contractor still had work to do. The numbers are going to change slightly, and they did. I sent you all by email this morning, and you have also a hard copy from the clerk for contract A. You have numbers here that have changed today because of something that was not accounted for. And so what I've done is I've given you just the contract A, partial payment estimate number 20, and I've highlighted the item that changed so you can see what changed. And that was an item that was for, it's the SWPP, I'm broken for what the acronym means, but it is something the contractor is required to do for environmental reasons. He has to make certain provisions during his contract to protect the environment from silting and things like that. We had a lump sum price of $5,050, and they called today and said, we never paid for that in the contract. So we made that change. So with that in mind, what I'd like to do is look at the Public Works Committee minutes and give you the final numbers that now include the changes that are made on contract A. There were no changes made from what I gave you this morning and what you have in front of you for contract B. So if you would, contract A, the first item that Jeff was reading, contract A, partial payment estimate number 20, the final number there is $173,527.99.
Okay, so Jeff, you want to change your motion?
Yeah, we'll amend that to $173,529
$27.99.
That's it.
Alderman Martin, you still second?
Oh, I'll second that.
Okay. Now, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? 1 nay. Motion carries.
The next item is to approve final contract change order number 5, and the number that I gave you last week being $55,206.54 was changed to, and it's a negative number, negative $53,295.04. It's 53295.04. That is a decrease in the contract price from the original contract.
Okay. So, Mr. Dorey, go ahead and read for number 2.
Okay, I'll just read the whole thing.
Yeah.
With his number. The motion was made by Alderwoman Sandy Marks, seconded by Alderman Brad Cord to approve final contract change order number 5 under the contract with Glen Leger Construction LLC for the citywide street improvements contract A project to adjust the original contract quantities and cost to final construction quantities and cost in an estimated amount of $53,200.
Well, no, read it as it is, because that's the motion that was made in the committee meeting,
Okay.
and then we'll,
$55,206.54, and to adjust the original contract time to final contract time.
okay? And then we'll update, you need to make a motion
So make a
to
motion.
approve that with the new number being
Right.
negative 53,295.
Negative 53,295.04.
Yes. So offered by Alderman Dorey, second by Alderman Ashby. Discussion.
Just one question.
Y'all understand? Yes, sir, Mr. Martin.
Okay, so this basically goes towards, this basically goes as an offset in the contract here?
Right against it.
Okay, what's that? Now this basically goes as an offset to the final price?
I guess I understand what you mean by offset. It's reducing the regular contract amount in the final, plus and minuses of quantities by $53,295.
But I'm saying, but one that we just approved for the SWPPP, that was what, 5,000 something as
Well,
well?
these numbers take that into account.
Oh, okay, so they can buy it.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion was made by Alderman Sandy Martin, seconded by Alderman Vernon Martin, to adopt a resolution of termination for the construction contract with Glen Leger Construction LLC for the citywide street improvements contract A project. Motion carried, I so move.
Offered by Alderman Dorey,
Second.
second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion? All in favor? Yes, sir, I'm sorry. Mr. Court.
Comment, for some reason the mic's not,
There is a state of good community. I have an issue where the new street surface is significantly greater than the concrete gutter at several street intersections. I believe that this was a problem during the development of the plans for the project. I'm confident that our city engineer would have addressed it. Item 37 of the punch list required building and resurfacing of areas when the elevation exceeds 6 inches in height above the gutter. And this was looked at during our inspection of the project several months ago. Alternatively, our city engineers recommend that striping be installed to caution motorists and pedestrians of this hazard, and a majority of the committee voted in favor. With this alternative, the contractor was not required to perform additional work that would have been necessary to comply with the plans. I'm fully aware of the amount budgeted for this project and very grateful that it will be completed under budget. Nonetheless, the contractor did this job in accordance with the city engineer's plans and agreed by contract to accept conditions that existed at these street intersections. And I feel that should be held to those plans that Mr. Mayor prepared at a considerable expense to our taxpayers.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
2 nays. 3 nays.
Yeah, if I may, just one.
Motion carries. Go ahead.
On this right here. Now, Tim, we do have a year warranty on everything, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so basically, anything that's not done to approval of whatever district or whatever, we have a year to go back on these people. That's the reason why I second. Okay? To get the ball rolling. We gotta start somewhere. I'm looking at you, Brad, because, you know, you and I, we communicate a lot. To get the ball rolling. Okay, you can't stop nothing if you don't start. So So we got a very intelligent and, shall we say, experienced engineer. As long as I've been on this council, he never let me down yet. So I'm placing my trust in him. And I'm not an engineer, but if he's saying that clock should go around backwards, well, even though I know it's wrong, I'm gonna tell you what Tim said. Okay? So that's the reason why I voted to start it up. Let's get it. 'Cause I always said you got more pressure doing than you do an accident. That's just me.
Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Thank you.
I got a question now, since you brought that up. So, just clarifying this, the 1 year, if we accept it the way it is, and then within that 1 year, try to get them to go fix what we accepted, that's not warranty. If you accept it the way it is, there's no going back to fix it.
Only if it's deficient materials and workmanship. That's what the warranty.
Correct, so
Well,
I'm
that's-
just making sure you're clear on that.
Well, I am. I
If
mean-
we accept it 6 inches above, that's the way it's staying, they're not going back to fix it.
Until it's proven wrong.
But I didn't hear you.
Well, I'm trying to get the same, where they're going, until it's proven wrong. If someone come in and say, no, 6 inches is not, shall we say, the proper, width, what happened? Well, it means that they've done something wrong.
Today, we're accepting it that way.
I understand. Mr. Martin's saying that if it is proven that it was done incorrectly, not according to specs, not according to contract or whatever, within a year, then that would be probably a warranty item. But I don't see that happening.
We are advising that the work has been done in substantial conformance with the land specification. That's been disputed, but I don't want to change what I'm advising. And that means that during the 1 year warranty, if somebody decides they don't like the 6 inches, they don't get to say we gotta go do something. Or they don't get to make the contract to go do it.
Correct. Not under that contract.
But is it on the punch list, what you're talking about?
Yeah, I haven't heard it said.
37? And they're saying that it was completed? Did the contractor say it was completed?
Well, it was stricken out, but it was changed. Alternative was recommended by Mr. Mayor to put striping.
Okay.
That alternative was also mentioned on the questions.
But that was subsequent to our initial, that was done later.
Right. But I just want to make sure that are you satisfied with, well, I mean.
No, I respect everyone's opinion.
Right.
You know, I'm not trying to sway, I'm just stating what I believe to be my opinion, and everyone else is certainly entitled, I respect their opinion as well.
Well, I'm understanding, to my understanding, I thought that whatever needs to be corrected will be corrected.
It's only workmanship and, what's that other word? Defective material, if they did the job poorly, the cracks in the road is not a contractor issue. That's not covered under
fall
warranty.
under what Jeff is talking about?
We say no. We say that what's there now, the thickness in the radius of intersection has been mitigated by striping. That's our position, that if we try to grind down that 6 inches to 4 inches or 3 inches, then we affect the cross slope of the roads and approach the intersection. And that's worse than living with the thickness with a stripe that warns everybody there's a difference in elevation. It's not a simple solution. We're weighing the pros and cons of the right way to do it, and this is where we make
Bottom line to answer your question, Mr. Martin, is Mr. Ashby would be right if you accept the contract as we are doing or proposing to do today. You would be accepting that 6 inches. That would not be a warranty item if we change our mind later on about that. Now, if because it's 6 inches, it sloughs off and crumbles, that might be a different story. But just the fact that at a later date, we change our mind and say, well, we don't like 6 inches, that's not a valid warranty claim. We waive that by accepting.
Well, But Jim, back to you, what is the problem with the 6 inches? I mean, I'm not understanding, I'm listening, but I'm not understanding, I'm hearing, you're still not understanding. Okay? You saying the 6 inches is not,
But it's 6 inches and greater, which is, I believe, a safety hazard for vehicles, pedestrians. And the fact of the matter is, the plans were prepared, again, our city engineer, knows these streets backwards and forwards. It was indicating the plans where they would have this large transition, where what change could be accommodated there. So I'm just saying that the contractor, when he bid this project, was given the plans and signed the contract to do the work. That's the provisions that he was under.
okay,
That's all I'm saying, and I feel that he's not following what the plans call for.
okay, and Tim, you're saying that what they have right now will work, is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Well, once again, I'm not an engineer.
I tell them that all the time, Stephen. All right, Mr. Dorey, continue on, please, sir, number 4.
Thank you, Mayor. Motion was made by Alderman Brad Core, seconded by Alderwoman Sandy Marks to approve partial payment estimate number 15 to Glenn Leger Construction LLC for the citywide street improvement contract B project in the estimated amount of $238,010.31. Motion carried.
Mr. Mayor, is that a good number?
Needs to be adjusted to another number.
Let's adjust it.
That would be $264,369.47. 264,369.47.
There you have it, the latest and greatest as of today. Would you please make your motion?
I make the motion for $264,369.47 as Mr. Mayor has said.
Second.
Offered by Alderman Dorey, second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 1 nay. Motion carries.
A motion was made by Alderwoman Sandy Martin, seconded by Alderman Vernon Martin to approve the final contract change order number 3 under the contract with Glenn Leger Construction LLC for the citywide street improvements contract B project to adjust the original quantities and costs, the final construction quantities and costs in the estimated amount of a negative $647,777.28, and to adjust the original contract time to final contract time. Motion carried, I so moved, and
Mr. Mayor, the latest greatest numbers, please.
The final number there is $641,746.57. That's 641,746.57. That is a negative, correct?
That is a negative 600.
And what is the final contract time? That would change?
It's to say it's the final contract.
Oh, it's to say,
Right,
okay.
we made December
So-
31st as the last official
All
contract date, and adjust the contract time to that.
Okay, so we'll adjust that amount to $641,746.57.
Being negative, that number.
That's a negative.
Offered by Alderman Dorey, second by Alderman Core. Discussion, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, I would just like to say that the combination of those two deductions, I told you last Wednesday that it was around 703,000. That number now is $695,041.61. That's just for your information, you don't have to act on that. So the contracts are now almost $750,000 under what was approved 2 years ago.
Thank you, sir.
A motion was made by Alderwoman Sandy Marks, seconded by Alderman Brad Core, to adopt a resolution of termination for construction contract with Glenn Leger Construction LLC for the citywide street improvements contract B project. Motion.
So moved.
Offered by Alderman Dorey, second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
And may I say, I hope these streets last longer than I do.
Oh.
I don't want to hear straight again.
Well, I don't hope they last longer than I do, but
Well, I'm at that point.
I want to be here a little longer than that, Jeff. But I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah, you can handle it next time.
No, I won't be in this capacity in another 20
You
years.
can say, I'll remember. Okay, the non-action items, Public Works Director Albert John was not present, but the mayor also spoke about ongoing business at Public Works. City Engineer Tim Mader presented the monthly engineer's report. Council members and Tim Mader discussed the thickness of the pavement in some areas near the gutters. There was no further business to come before Public Works Committee and the committee recess.
Thank you, sir. Utility Committee, Alderman Martin.
All right, let's see, and the Utility Committee convened Wednesday, January 3rd at 4 p.m. in Council Chamber. Quorum was present. And the action items, the motion was offered by Alderwoman Sandy Marks and second by Alderman Jeff Dorey to approve partial payment estimate number 5 to Children's Services LLC for the common meter replacement at the main pump station project in the amount of $47,320.52. Is that good, Jim?
Yes, sir.
Motion carried, and I so move.
Second.
Is that on the agenda?
Wait.
Well, I'm reading.
I'm looking for my,
No.
my comment. There was no further action.
They didn't, no.
That's right.
They copied and pasted. Yeah, I'm not saying you wrong, Mr. Martin.
Well, that's where they are right now. I'm reading off what I have.
I'm not saying you wrong. I know you ain't making it up.
Yeah, where's
But-
my sign? You're not signing the photo.
I know you ain't making it up.
The number was right, the time is wrong.
But it's not, that's not even on the agenda. Because that's done and over with.
But you read it so well.
Did a good job.
Man, y'all know I'm coming down on the food. I can't be talking too much.
You did all right.
All right, so is that a moot?
Yeah,
motion?
there's no action items in,
All right, well,
in
let's go to
utility.
the next one then. Hopefully this one is good.
That,
All right,
is it an action item?
it's an action item.
No, we have no action items in utility.
Well, where did this come from?
I don't know.
Well, give me that. I put my signature on it. I'm not taking this in. Mr. Clerk, what's going on with this?
Leave the clerk alone.
He was doing CPA activity.
We'll have to check. We'll have to check the problem. We got a problem there, Steph. Don't sign that.
Well, I'm
Because that ain't right.
right.
All right, there's no action items in utility. The wastewater superintendent gave his report, and everybody was happy. We'll reprint it. Just with different wording.
Well, that's it. Well,
That's it.
Okay, we're good.
Thank you, sir. We'll fix that. Sorry you had to read all that.
I appreciate the fact.
All right, Recreation Committee, Alderman Ashton.
Recreation Committee convened Wednesday, January 3rd, 2023, at 4 p.m. in the council chambers, and a quorum was present. There were no action items, and under non-action items, Recreation Director Peter Kurtz presented the monthly Recreation Department report. City Engineer Tim Mader presented the monthly engineer's report. There was no further business to come before the Recreation Committee and the committee recess.
Thank you, sir. Zoning annexation, Alderman Reggie.
I don't have any action items.
That's another one, no action items. I don't know where we
I can read the header off of this one. Zoning Annexation Committee convened Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024 at 4 p.m. in the council chambers. Quorum was present. Under action items, there were none, and under non-action items, Mr. Tim Mader gave a report. And that's it.
Thank you, sir. Public Safety, Alderman Core.
Thank you, Mayor. Public Safety Committee convened Wednesday, January 3rd, 2023, at 4 p.m. in council chambers, and the quorum was present. Under action items, a motion was made by myself and seconded by Alderman Jeff Dorey to move the request for Police Department Records Clerk from full-time position to Revenue and Finance Committee. And I so move. Mayor, I believe that the motion was made to approve it and then to refer it to Revenue and Finance.
Yes, yes.
So I'm going to clarify the motion in that manner.
I'll second with the correction.
So you need to make a motion, to approve the, that change
Right.
and refer it to Revenue and Finance.
Yes.
I'll second it with the necessary
With the corrections.
corrections.
As made.
Offered by Alderman Core, second by Alderman Martin. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next, the motion was offered by myself and seconded by Alderman Sammy Reggie to amend the agenda to include 2 beer and liquor applications. The motion carried, however, there was no quorum to vote on the beer and liquor applications as Alderman Sammy Reggie abstained from the vote. Tonight, we have on the agenda to approve beer and liquor licenses for the businesses listed below. The new application for Michael Cubes for a 2024 Class A retail beer permit and a 2024 Class A retail liquor permit, and that location is 102 North Avenue F, and I so move to approve.
Offered by Alderman Core, second by Alderwoman Chasson. Discussion? Yes.
One question from earlier, I talked to Chief a little bit about it earlier, but I don't think these guys have a license to switch over.
I'm looking for that now because I wanted to update you on that. I apologize. Let me see. So our city ordinance, just a second. Let me get to it. Our city ordinance, and then the new beer and liquor permit requirements, on the paper you get to renew it, it says all licenses are due by January 1st of the following calendar year and become delinquent on the 10th of said month. Any application submitted after the 10th will be penalized $25 for the first month minimum and 5% of the license tax per month, or a fraction of that month from the due date. Sounds like it's not delinquent until today,
But I think the conversation.
correct? After today, yeah.
But I think the conversation was, a switch over of ownership.
It is a switchover of ownership, and this is part of that process. And so there's still an active liquor license there, the state's obviously active, but, and city until through today. And then now, this one, if this one's approved tonight, then this one goes into effect tomorrow.
I was always under the understanding that in that, 1269.
Me too, I agree with you.
31st.
I agree with you, but not according to what is printed on paper and given to each licensed location.
Mayor.
Yes.
Mr. Reggie, are you referring to the prior establishment owner and license, Morton's, operating without a permit through today? Or has it?
I don't know if they changed the name, supposedly the name's been changed, I don't know.
Yeah, I was just trying to understand.
If I remember right, whenever you do ownership, you have to go through the state first, and put little papers in the window, saying that, hey, I'm gonna be opening up a whatever, because it's changing licenses. So the state would have to be notified too, because it's not Martin's that's gonna have it, it's whoever this new person.
Right, but the new applicant isn't operating business yet.
I think they've been here since the first.
I don't know that, I don't do their taxes, so I can't tell you who's officially operating it at this point. But I do know that there's a new owner that's supposed to be going in. I do know that there's new property owners. The business owner, it's my understanding that there is a new business owner. I don't know if they are officially operating, the new business owner is officially operating today, or yesterday, or January 1st, or next month. I don't know that. I don't know how we can prove that. I don't know that there's a way to prove it, and if this is approved tonight, I don't know that we have to go searching for anything.
My understanding of everything was that it was being ran as Martin's Tavern. And it's my understanding that it was the management, one of the management people that had running Martin's that purchased it. So they're just changing over names. So if they still running under Martin's license, they have so many days to get that done for the new year. They also put in for the changing of the name.
The process through the state does allow them a certain amount of time to change over, yes.
Correct, and I don't.
So the new owner can operate under the old owner's license through the state allows that to happen.
To my understanding.
Yes.
And I understand too, you know, our ordinance can't supersede state law.
I think we're trying to split hairs here, trying to shut a business down for a day or 2 days. I don't understand. So we have a motion and a second, right? Glenn, we have a motion and a second.
I made the motion.
Okay. Offered by Alderman Core to approve Mikey's 2024 Class A retail beer and liquor. Need a second? Second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? One recusal? Motion carries.
Okay, next we'll have your renewal application for 2024. Family Dollar, number 31735, Stores of Louisiana, located 415 Southeastern Avenue, for a 2024 Class B packaged beer permit. And I so move.
Offered by Alderman Core, second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? One recusal. Motion passes.
Okay, the following did not go to committee, but we have amended the agenda to recognize them. Southside Cajun Kitchen, 518 Southeastern Avenue, for a 2024 Class A retail beer permit, and I so move.
Offered by Alderman Core, second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? One recusal? Motion passes.
The next one is Big Daddy 2020 Incorporated, doing business as DBA Winter Circle, for a Class A beer, a 2024 Class A beer and liquor permit, and I so move.
Offered by Alderman Core, second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion?
What's the address of that?
That is 109 Southeastern Avenue. That's the store under the bridge.
Okay, the, chicken place?
No, it's underneath the overpass.
Yeah.
John and John Bridge.
Right.
On south of the tracks there.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? One recusal? Motion carries.
The next renewal is Big Daddy 2020 Incorporated, doing business as Cajun Mart, which is adjacent to the prior one that just approved, for a 2024 Class A beer and liquor permit, and I so move.
Offered by Alderman Core,
Second.
second by Alderman Marks. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? One recusal? Motion carries.
And the last is Sharon's Grill, located at 200 Fairway Drive, Suite D, for a Class 2024 Class A beer and liquor permit. And I so move.
Second.
Offered by Alderman Core, second by Alderwoman Chasson. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? One recusal. Motion carries.
On the non-action items, Chief of Police Troy Hebert gave his monthly report. Chief Hebert requested that his part-time record clerk position be changed to a full-time position. Fire Chief Louis Romero gave his monthly report. The Chair read the report provided by Tony Dugan. There was no further action to come before the Public Safety Committee, and the committee recessed.
Thank you, sir. Public Buildings, Alderman Wilridge.
Come to the mic.
I was absent.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, I'll read that.
Mr. Torrey.
Y'all up next. Come to the
Public
mic.
Buildings Committee convened Wednesday, January 3rd, 4 p.m. in the City Council chambers. A quorum was present. A motion was made by Alderman Brad Core, seconded by Alderman Dickie Latchley, to approve the request of Ms. Sharon Ross for the City of Crowley to partner in sponsoring the MLK celebration by waiving the fee for the use of the MLK Center, January 15th, 2024. Motion.
I second that.
Offered by Alderman Dorey, second by Alderman Martin. Discussion?
You have anything to say?
Y'all want to speak? Ladies. Ms. Christie. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank y'all. Good evening, council members and community of Crowley, Louisiana. We must learn to live together as brothers and sisters or perish together as fools. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Every third Monday in January, we, as Americans, honor the birth and life of Martin Luther King Jr. Though his name is always before us, at least once a year, few of us take the time to reflect on the positive impact his words, his works, and overall civil rights movement has had on our daily lives today. The Crowley Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is pleased to invite you to a day of celebration and dedication in honor of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The event will take place at the MLK Recreation Center on Monday, January 15th, beginning at 12 p.m. The day of celebration will kick off with a youth march from St. Joseph Church to the MLK Recreation Center. There will also be a community resource fair from 12 to 1:30 p.m. A youth-led program will follow at 1:30 p.m. And all youth are invited to participate. Join us this MLK Day as we come together to celebrate and encourage our beloved community. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you all for hanging around and speaking here tonight. We appreciate you. Any other discussion?
I just have one. And
Yes, sir.
I'm pretty sure those who've been on the council, I still think, I don't believe that we should put this in the purgatory for the relatives to have this every year. I mentioned this last time and had another person on there that didn't agree. But they do this every year. The holiday is gonna be every year. So I would like to see that the purposes that they incorporated, that this be set aside for their day.
And
Because, I hate to say it, but anytime you're doing something good, people are always trying to do it.
right,
And there may be somebody in this community, because I heard it before, why did they get it every year? Well, they get it because they do it. When you do it, ain't no sense somebody else can do it.
so it was actually just last year you asked the same thing, and I spoke against it. And for a couple of reasons. One, we wouldn't be able to have these ladies visit our meeting every year and come in
I'm pretty sure
and
that-
speak to us about this. But, one of the important reasons is the city is closed on Martin Luther King Day.
That's correct.
No employees are working on that day, but they're using a city facility that requires a city employee to be there. And currently, we have a city employee who volunteers to go to work on that day to open the facility. In the event we do this, and look, the next administration or next year, we could, or even next month, the council could come back and vote against it and wipe it off the books. So but.
Well, that's the reason why I put it in motion, to make sure that it's not written off.
No, but then if someone puts it in motion next month to take that forever off of there, that can be done too. It can be reversed, just like it's put on there. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think they've ever been turned down. These ladies have, and continue to do so much in our city, and they're very welcomed and loved and appreciated because they do a lot. And I don't think it's a problem for them to come back each year to ask for it. I think they're
Y'all good with it?
extremely comfortable with it.
Well, I'm looking at it
Thank
for, I know, they do a lot of planning for it, this way they can have their people, whoever the main speaker is, they can give a year ahead of time, getting y'all stuff together, that's what I'm looking at. Everything takes time.
And really and truly, they don't really ask for it. They just tell us that they're doing it on that day. And we agree to it. Because we want to. I think it's important.
Okay.
It's absolutely important to do. Thank y'all, ladies. Thank y'all again. All right, any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, with no further action items to come before Public Buildings Committee, the committee recess.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, next we'll have the Insurance and Personnel Committee minutes. The Insurance and Personnel Committee convened Wednesday, January the 3rd, 2024, at 4 p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. There were no action items and no non-action items, and no further discussion came before the Insurance and Personnel Committee, and the committee recessed.
Thank you, ma'am. Community Economic Development, Alderwoman Chesson.
Thank you. Excuse me. The Community and Economic Development Committee convened Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024, 4 p.m. in the council chambers, and quorum was present. There were no action items. Alderwoman Peggy Chalson spoke about upcoming events in Crowley. There was no further action to come before the Community and Economic Development Committee. Committee recessed.
Thank you, ma'am. Revenue and Finance, Alderman Lochley.
Thank you, Mayor. The Revenue and Finance Committee convened Wednesday, January the 3rd, 2024, at 4 p.m. in the council chambers. The quorum was present. The agenda was amended by a roll call vote to include changing the part-time police department records clerk to a full-time position. All present voted yes. A motion was made by Alderman Deacon Lodgley and seconded by Alderman Brad Core to send the police department record clerk position changed to the full council for a vote, pending that is within the budget. Now so moved.
Second.
So your motion needs to be to approve the appropriations. It should be about, I was trying to figure out these numbers that Julie sent me.
Is it in the
It
budget?
should be less than $20,000 a year to go from part-time to full-time.
Is in your budget, Chief?
Well, currently, right now, it is because of our shortage. But
Yeah.
Right.
once we fill up, it may
Right.
be. It's gonna be less than 20.
So what are we?
What'll happen basically is this budget, this current budget that he has, will be able to afford it. And then when we make a new budget, the new budget will have to reflect the new salary.
Just want to make sure we're still on.
Yeah, we're not talking about that big of an increase. This employee has been with us for a large number of years. She was moved to a part-time position, so with the increase in the pay from the last time, it's really, her salary's gonna go up, but it's not gonna be that much more. It'll be about $1.50 more an hour. The problem is with, our traffic enforcement detail picking up, we really do need this records clerk position. She does a lot of work there. Okay, and as y'all can see, she had more people come to support her
Oh,
than
that's
we
what-
had to
yeah.
get our raise for our police officers.
Somebody was going to
Our
jail.
position is definitely needed, and we appreciate everything y'all done for us.
So we need a motion to approve the funding to go from
Yeah,
part-time.
I'll make my motion to make the change permanent and also approve the appropriation to make it happen.
And second.
Offered by Alderman Lachlan, second by Alderwoman Marks. Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to say as
Yes,
personnel chairman, I'd like to, know that she was gonna receive full benefits for her full-time employment. Is that gonna be the case?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we're on board with, she gets full benefits.
Yes.
Thank you.
And, Mayor, I'm assuming her pay will increase in the next pay period for the position. I assume.
Yeah, I guess, is that what you'd like the next pay period, is there, or?
As soon as possible.
Okay.
Now, we may have to, that position is a civil service position, so I'm not sure if the test score is still good, but we'll still get that done, but she can still fill the role until.
Until she takes the test, correct, the test, correct. Preliminary. Yeah. Okay, so next pay period, whenever that is, I don't keep track of that date, but, we'll make it effective next pay period. Good with that, Mr. Lachlan? Ms. Marks? Charles motion, effective next pay period. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
So she is retroactive, isn't it? As of today?
No, it goes into effect next pay period.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the committee had no, non-action items. There was no further business to come before the Revenue Finance Committee. The committee recessed.
Thank you, sir. Ordinances. All right, so an ordinance to amend and reenact Chapter 2 Administration, Section 2-3, same time, place of meetings of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Crowley to change the time of regularly scheduled monthly city council meetings to the third Tuesday of each month at 6 p.m. and committee meetings to the second Tuesday of each month at 4 p.m. To repeal all ordinances or parts of ordinances contrary thereto or in conflict therewith, to provide for the provisions hereof to be severable, and to provide for all matters relative thereto. Before you make a motion, do they need to make the original motion okay, so we need a motion
So moved.
to offer this, to accept this ordinance. Offered by Alderwoman Marks, second by Alderman Core. Discussion. Now, go ahead.
As you mentioned earlier, Mr. Martin, I think that we need to provide our citizens opportunity to be present for our committee meetings. At the 4 p.m., I've had several times when people couldn't get off from work and so forth. I understand Mr. Fuser is concerned about his willingness to attend both meetings and his involvement. Perhaps the police jury can maybe adjust their times, as we did before, to accommodate them. So I think that having the meetings, both council and committee, begin at 5 p.m., 5:15 p.m., somewhere in that range was what I would recommend.
Both of them or just one?
Both. To have the council meetings moved up to 5 or 5:15, 5:30, and the committee as well.
Any other discussion? Okay, so we'll need
I don't mind
substitute
amending,
motion, correct?
yeah, I don't mind amending my motion to,
No, we need,
You have to have a motion to amend the ordinance.
okay, to reflect also a time change, not just the day,
Right, the only amendment is to the time.
okay.
And the time would be 5:30, is that correct?
at 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. So somebody,
I'll go ahead and move that we move the meeting times, both council and committee to 5 p.m.
He seconded the original motion. I'll second. Can you make it we'll probably have to have someone else make the motion.
yeah, you seconded the original motion, so.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Okay, Alderman Dore is making a motion to amend the ordinance, the proposed ordinance, to reflect that the times be changed to 5 p.m. for both committee and council meetings, but the days, second Tuesday and third Tuesday remains the same, correct? And Alderman Ashby seconded that. Discussion on the amended motion. All right, all in favor of the amended motion? Yes, we need a,
You have two motions on
all right, so we need a roll call for the motion to amend, which is to amend the times to 5 p.m. for both meetings, and the days, the second Tuesday and the third Tuesday would stay the same. Roll call, please.
Chuck Ashby,
Yes.
Katie Chazon, Brad Cool,
Yes.
Jeff Doré,
Yes.
Dickie Latchley,
Yes.
Vernon Martin,
Yes.
Sandy Marks,
Yes,
Sammy Reggie,
Yes.
Byron Wilwich.
Yes.
Correct. The ordinance has to be.
So the ordinance, once amended, has to be presented in writing, which we accept has to be presented in writing to the council. So as Tom was pointing out, everyone could just make that change on the ordinance that you've been, had as part of your package. You can just change the time and initially.
That we did entirely. Two spots. Two spots, correct.
the second page. Just second page.
Yes.
Section 2, 3, comments.
So we made a motion to amend the ordinance and submitted that to a roll call. Now we need to submit the ordinance as amended. Have a motion and a second on that, on actually enact ordinance. As amended.
So the motion to accept the amended
Correct.
ordinance.
Correct. Right.
So we need a motion from someone to offer the ordinance as amended.
Also,
Second.
Offered by Alderman Martin, seconded by Alderwoman Marks. Any discussion? Everybody understand? Clear as mud. All in favor? Oh, hold on, we need a roll call. I'm sorry.
Chuck Ashby,
Yes.
Katie Chasson, Brad Cole,
Yes.
Jeff Dorey,
Yes.
Dickie Latchley,
yes.
Vernon Martin,
Yes.
Sandy Marks,
Yes.
Sammy Reddy, Byron Woolridge.
Yes.
All in favor? Thank you. Motion carries. By the way, I hope we never have to use it, but if you read the ordinance, it must end by 10 p.m. It's 5 hours, y'all. We're not going to make it. All right, no resolutions, engineers report. Mr. Mayor, you're done for the night. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Offered by Alderwoman Marks, second by Alderman Ashby. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you all so very much.
Other one.
I've been to